So in the meantime, let's try and figure out what it may be, and what is this Carolina Panthers team going to look like with you now in the mix, and Joe Brady, who was easily the most sought after assistant from the collegiate ranks, with McCaffrey all signed, sealed, and delivered in an unprecedented manner. Teddy Bridgewater being brought in. What is this team going to look like? What can you tell Panthers fans what it will look like?
I think we're going to be an exciting team on offense. I think Joe has a great system. He learned under Sean Payton, in New Orleans. He did a great job at LSU. We're excited about Teddy, and we have a young group of receivers: Curtis Samuel, DJ Moore, former first-round draft pick, went and got Robbie Anderson in free agency. You mentioned Christian. We think he's someone that can do so many different things. So I think a lot of our experience, a lot of the guys that have played a lot of football are on that offensive side. So we'll have to get some timing and put some things together. But I'm excited about where those guys are, and then. I think defensively, we had some key veterans, that we built around, and KK Short, has been an All-Pro, and Shaq Thompson, Trey Boston, and then went out and we're the first team that ever drafted all defensive players in the draft, and so I think we're going to be a young group, a fun group. You mentioned Joe. We only have one player on the team that's older than Joe Brady, and Joe's 30 or 31. So we'll be young. Hopefully, we'll be a fun team to watch, though.
Well, I know, and again, we had Christian McCaffrey on at the Super Bowl, and he's no wallflower, but he was kind of at the time, and you'd just been hired, Matt Rhule here on the Rich Eisen Show, asking him the same question, and he kind of shrugged his shoulders and lamented the loss of people who were pillars of the locker room and the franchise, from obviously Luke Kuechly, who had just retired for reasons that were beyond his control, and Greg Olsen, then obviously Cam Newton. So what about that? As you're talking about everybody socially distant right now, that aspect of things for you walking into the first year here.
Yeah, I think when you have great players like all the men that you mentioned, and even more, we lost a lot of great defensive linemen and players on the other side of the ball. It's hard, because you so appreciate what they've done, you appreciate the way that they did it and who they are. But this is one of those games that you look back at the past, you appreciate it, but you got to keep moving forward. And Luke's going to work for us now, and I remember when he told me he was leaving, he's like, "I'm sorry. I'm sure you took this job thinking, I was going to be one of your guys, and I'm having to leave." But at the end of the day, that's part of life. That's part of this game. And where one chapter closes, I think there's some guys that we really are excited about that it's going to be their opportunities. Some young draft picks, we're excited about their opportunity. And I'm one of those guys that I just say to myself, hey, I just want to make sure that everything we're doing is pointing towards the future. And I think the fun part about that is we should be a fun team to watch. We're not the most veteran team, but we got a lot of young guys that are going to kind of try to go do it the right way. And now it's Christian's turn, and it's Teddy's turn, and Russell Okung's turn to, kind of be our leaders. And, Trey Boston and Shaq Thompson, it's their turn, and I think they're going to be ready for it.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.